I'll tell you what, folks, this Ngozi Fulani character, she has got some front. She has no shame whatsoever. Now, as we all know by now, Ngozi Fulani popped over to Buckingham Palace for a cocktail party and was wearing what she called a traditional African heritage dress. And she obviously had a tape recorder with her because she was looking for a race route incident, and she got it with Lady Susan Hussey, who simply asked her, "Where are you from?" And ever since then, Fulani has just been on the radio, on television, newspapers, social media, describing how she was denied her nationality, was assaulted by Lady Susan Hussey, who she says touched her hair, and just being the general whiny victim. And because of her race and the words institutionalised racism, she has scared the shit out of the royal family, who then promptly ditched Lady Susan Hussey, threw her under the bus, fed her to the wolves as an act of appeasement. Now, Ngozi Fulani runs a charity for only black female domestic abuse victims, which is racist in itself. And it's an organisation that's been funded by Black Lives Matter and even Sadiq Khan, the shitty mayor of London. Can you believe that? So make of that what you will. Now, I am really glad that members of the black community have come out and defended Lady Susan Hussey and spoken out against this Ngozi Fulani character, because it's clear what she was doing. She was race baiting, and now she's trying to cash in because she has offered to visit Buckingham Palace to educate the royal family on cultural competency. Can you believe that? And her full statement is absolutely pathetic. She said she would go to the palace if it meant positive change was made that could save lives. Whose life, exactly? How does asking people where they are from endanger lives? This is just ridiculous. This is cashing in and making the most out of a huge nothing burger. I suspect that Ngozi Fulani probably did the rounds in Buckingham Palace until she found the right target and struck it lucky. And she'd have tried this on with other palace staff as well, who probably saw through what she was doing. Now, Lady Susan Hussey has resigned as a result of this, and Buckingham Palace issued a really strong statement, a cowardly, spineless statement in my opinion. They said racism has no place in our society. Oh, they're correct there. However, they go on. The comments were unacceptable, and it is right that the individual has stepped aside with immediate effect. I mean, that's just a pandering bollocks, isn't it? They have literally sacrificed one of their own, someone who served them for 60 years for no pay, mind you, and did so loyally, perfectly, with no trouble, no fuss, no muss, and sacrificed her on the altar of multiculturalism and diversity. So this is what Ngozi Fulani said, and it's laughable. What took place at the event is now well documented, and sadly is something that occurs on an all too regular basis, she said. Yeah, asking people where they are from is just the height of institutionalised racism, isn't it? It's ridiculous. Incidents like this not only cause emotional harm to those involved, but do also have wider repercussions within the community. I have experienced firsthand what happens when a black woman faces adversity and has to overcome additional barriers when trying to report it. This is at the heart of what we do at Sister Space. That's her charity, by the way. And it has reiterated to me just how important the work we do is. And that's hypocritical in itself, because Sister Space is a charity for black-only domestic abuse survivors. So if a white woman turns up there and says, "I've been domestically abused," you immediately put up a barrier in front of her by saying, "Oh, this is for black people only." Anyway, it goes on. I remain dedicated to raising awareness around cultural competency and will go to Buckingham Palace or anywhere else if it will help raise positive change and save lives. It has been an emotional whirlwind, and we now wish to take the time to pause, reflect and learn from these events. I suggest she does learn from these events, Ngozi Fulani. She can't be allowed to do this kind of shit and ruin people's lives. It's affected Lady Susan Hussey greatly. She won't even leave the house now. The woman is 83 years old and you've destroyed her. The woman is an absolute disgrace. I still believe, and I think it's fairly obvious really, that Ngozi Fulani went to Buckingham Palace looking for trouble. She found it, made a huge mountain of it, didn't care whose lives she'd destroyed, and what happened because of her overshadowed what was going on in Buckingham Palace at the time. Because that cocktail party was obviously to highlight and help another charity. It's what they do. But now nobody knows about that. They only know about this idiot. So no doubt she has cashed in. Newspapers have obviously paid her for this story. And because King Charles and Prince William are obviously woke as shit, they will definitely invite her to the palace for this, and they'll probably pay her as well, which will be out of taxpayers' money. I mean, anything to stop being called institutionally racist, isn't that right? How pathetic. Anyway, that's my video. Hope you like. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until the next time, Roger Trout.